The return of the son. Explanation. This is one of Jesus' most well-known parables. It tells the story of a younger son who asks for his share of the inheritance and sets off for a life of extravagance. He ends up squandering everything and finds himself in need. After reflecting on his situation, he decides to return home and ask for forgiveness from his father. His father welcomes him with open arms, demonstrating God's unconditional love for his repentant children. This parable teaches about forgiveness, mercy, and the love of God, regardless of our past mistakes. Now, the detailed story, Thessalai, begins with a father and his two sons. The younger son decides to ask for his inheritance, which was an unusual act in the Jewish culture of the time, because it would be akin to wishing for his father's death, as the inheritance would only be received upon his death. However, the father grants the younger son's request. The younger son then sets off to a distant land and begins living a life of extravagance, spending all his money on parties and worldly pleasures. However, a great famine rises in that land, and the prodigal son finds himself in extreme need. He ends up having to work feeding pigs, which was considered an unclean job by the Jews. At this point, the prodigal son reflects on his situation and decides to return home. He plans to repent before his father and asks to be treated as one of his hired servants, as he does not feel worthy of being called a son. While the prodigal son is still far away, the father spots him and runs to meet him. Overwhelmed with emotion, the father embraces his son and welcomes him back with love and joy. He orders that new clothes and a ring be brought for his son, symbols of restoration and honor. The older son, who remained at home faithfully working for his father, becomes upset with the warm reception given to his younger brother. He refuses to join in the celebration, expressing resentment and envy. The father then goes out to find the older son and tries to comfort him, explaining that they should rejoice because the lost son has been found and returned home. He reminds the older son that he has always been with him and that everything the father has also belongs to him. This parable is a powerful illustration of God's unconditional love. Just as the father in the parable receives his prodigal son back with love and forgiveness, God is always willing to forgive those who sincerely repent of their sins and turn back to Him. The parable also reminds us of the importance of not judging others and of rejoicing in the restoration and salvation of those who were lost.